Hello is everything. I get the hype. Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be filming my December reading wrap up. I'm going to be telling you about all the books that I read in the month of December. I cannot believe that December is already over and it's 2022. When you're watching this, that's literally insane. Like, I feel like 2021 started like a week ago. Like, what do you mean it's 2022? Like, that's insane. So I didn't read a ton of books this month because it was Christmas time. I was busy, like crazy busy. If you've seen my Christmas vlog, you know we're making so many gingerbreads. That took a lot of planning, and then I was working a bunch, and I just like didn't have a time to read a ton of books. So I read 7 books this month, which is like not terrible, but I honestly just didn't have the time. But I read some really good books, so I'm super excited to talk to you guys about those today. Also, before we get started, my dad is outside building something. I think my mom's out there too, so if you can hear them talking, they're quite loud, and my bedroom is like right near the backyard, so I hope you can't hear them, but if you can, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to ignore it. So let's just go ahead and get into all the books that I read this month. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I read the There Are No Saints duet by Sophie Lark and loved it, so I wanted to read more from her, so I read The Brutal Prince, and it's the first book in a series, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love this one. It just didn't hit for me. Like, I don't know why. I was expecting to really love it. It's a mafia romance. It is an arranged marriage, which you guys know isn't my favorite trope, but the arranged marriage part of it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. Like, that was kind of whatever. I just didn't feel like these characters had much depth to them, and I felt like it was very surface level. It didn't really dive deeper into like their past. They didn't really have anything to like even talk about with each other. Like, they never had any deep chats. They were just fucking all the time. And I was like, that's great, like we love smart, but like I need something a little bit deeper. Like, they didn't have much of a connection. So this book is about Element Adia or Ida. Oh, I honestly don't know how to say her name. So basically they're both involved in the mafia. Both their families are in the mafia, and they're rivals. They do not like each other. They've always had this big rivalry, and one night they end up crashing a birthday party at Callum's house, and Ida accidentally lights the library on fire. This causes a big drama, and basically her dad arranges for her to get married to Callum. They hate each other, and when I say hate, I mean like despise. She full tries to kill him. It's quite funny actually, and they do not like each other at all. And then second they're hating each other, the next second they were sleeping together, and I was like, what is even happening? I don't know. But yeah, so they get married, they move in together, and they're forced to be around each other all the time, and obviously they're very sexually attracted to each other. Things are gonna happen. But yeah, like I said, there wasn't really a deeper connection there, and when I read a book I need a deeper connection to be able to love the characters and be in love with their relationship, and I just didn't really feel that. So I gave it 3.5 stars. It was still a fun read, and I would still recommend it if you're looking for a fun mafia book or if you're into the arranged marriage trope. But I definitely want to read the rest of the books in the series because I've heard amazing things about those, and I've heard that they're better than the first one, and I can't wait to get to Dante's book because apparently it's really good. But basically the whole series follows all of Ida's brothers and Callum's sisters. So Callum has 2 sisters, Ida has 3 brothers, and so each sister and brother has their own book and their own love interest. And so yeah, I'm really interested in reading the rest of them. The rest of the books I read were all paperbacks, so the next 2 books that I read are the next 2 books in the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. So we have Addicted for Now and Kiss the Sky. I gave both of these 5 stars. Guys, I'm fully into this series. Like, I'm in it. I love it. It's so good. So this one is the 3rd book about Lily and Lo, and this just continues with their relationship. This one I loved so much more than the first 2. Like, the first 2 were kind of introductory books. You're just kind of getting to know the characters, but this one is where it's at. Like, it gets so much better. So much happens. It's them dealing with their addictions, healing from their addictions, and being more in love than ever. And I'm just obsessed with Lily and Lo. Lo is everything. I get the hype. I get why everyone loves him. He's literally so good with Lily, like calming her down, making her feel like amazing about herself. And I just love this book. Stunning. I can't really tell you guys much of what it's about because, like, it is the 3rd book in the series, but yeah, it's just them, you know, healing from their addictions and getting help from their families, and just, it's just so good. And then I read Kiss the Sky, which is the 1st book in the Calloway Sisters series, but you read them intertwined, so you read it as the 4th book. And this is the 1st book about Rose and Connor. Now, Rose and Connor, I loved seeing their snippets of their relationship during the first 3 books, and then finally they get their own book, and it's so good. Connor, oh, he's everything. I'm obsessed with him. Like, he was not what I was expecting. Like, this is academic rivals to lovers. They hated each other, but did they really hate each other? And then they started dating, and basically they end up going on a reality show about their, like, whole family, so all of the sisters, and then Reich, Lo, and Connor as well. And there's a whole lot of drama. Crazy shit happens. There's a character that I literally hate. Scott is awful. We despise him. So much crap happens in this book. It's a crazy roller coaster, but Connor's everything. I love him. They're so cute together. Rose is a bad bitch. We love her. And, like, yeah, they're just perfect. They're perfect together. He knows how, like, he just gets her and he can calm her down in an instant, and it's just stunning, and I'm obsessed. And the smut in this book, when I tell you I was shook, I was not expecting that, because in the first 3 books there isn't a ton of spice, but this one, my jaw was on the floor. Connor hits different. He hits different. So good. 5 stars. Amazing, stunning, beautiful. I'm gonna read Hot Houseflower next, which is Rack and Daisy's first book, and I can't wait because I love Rack already, and I'm just so excited for their relationship because it's forbidden, and it's gonna be so good. The next book that I read is the 2nd book in the There Are No Saints Duet, There Is No Devil by Sophie Lark. I actually got the paperback for Christmas, so I just have the paperback of the 2nd book. Haven't got the 1st one yet, but yes, I loved this book. It was just as good as the 1st one. I gave this one 4.5 stars. This just delves deeper into Cole and Maya's relationship, and obviously all the drama with Shaw, and it's so good. You really dive deeper into their past and they connect on such a deeper level, and it's so good. And of course, it's serial killer romance, so it's a crazy roller coaster. The spice, stunning. It was just perfect. 4.5 stars. I loved it. This duet is so good, and don't be put off by the fact that it's a serial killer romance. Trust me, you'll fall in love with him. The next book that I read, Verity by Colleen Hoover. What the fuck? What the fuck was this book? I don't even know what I read. When I finished it, I dead set stared at the wall for a solid 10 minutes. I was like, what? Like, what do I do with myself now? Like, what just happened? Hello? Like, no. Well, I gave this 5 stars, but my head, this book was a mindfuck. Like, basically it's about Jeremy and Lowen, and it's a romantic thriller. And so basically Jeremy's wife Verity gets into this really bad accident, and she is a famous author, and she has this series, and she's unable to continue writing this series because she is like bedridden. She's like completely unresponsive and she can't continue writing. And so Lowen is this aspiring author. She writes the same genre as Verity, and Jeremy thinks that she will be perfect to continue the series and ghostwrite for Verity. And so she agrees to the job. She moves into their house for a couple of like weeks just to go through all Verity's stuff and her notes and get inside her head and be able to write this series. But as she's looking through all of her notes on the books, she ends up finding this manuscript for a biography that Verity wrote about her life. And she's super intrigued by this. She starts reading it, and the things that she finds out are crazy. This book is creepy, and I would like, don't read it at night. Don't read it at night because like you'll be scared. But the plot twist, like this book is twisty and turny and crazy, but then in true Colleen Hoover fashion, she throws in another plot twist and you're like, what the fuck? And you don't know what to believe, and it's literally insane. Like still to this day, like I still don't know what the fuck, like I don't know what to think. If you've read this book, please talk to me about it, because like I need someone to talk about it with, because I want to know what you guys think. Like just mind blown, like insane. This book is crazy, but it was so good and I definitely recommend you guys read it. I also loved Jeremy. Side note, like I know it's not really a romance, but Jeremy was kind of everything. But yeah, this book was a complete mindfuck, like I don't even know. But it's so good. Definitely look up the trigger warnings though, because there are so many triggering topics spoken about. Like I love anything this woman writes. Stunning. The next book that I read is Make It Sweet by Kristen Callahan. This book I haven't heard a ton about, but I saw it on Book Talk and it sounded really good, and it was. I gave it 5 stars. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did, but it was so good and so spicy. Like it was just amazing, and like we love a discreet cover. So this book follows Emma and Lucian, and Emma is an actor and she's on this really well-known show, and then she ends up getting killed off the show. She literally gets the axe, like her character gets her head chopped off with an axe, and she's really lost and she doesn't really know what to do, and so she ends up going to this like Holiday Inn type of thing. I don't really know what to call it, but she ends up going there because her grandma is really good friends with the owner, and so she goes there. She stays in one of the houses that they have there, and she meets Lucian. Lucian is the owner's grandson, and he is this grumpy, really closed off character who hates the world. And he is an ex-hockey player. Something really bad happened to him. He had a really bad injury and he was unable to play anymore, and so he's kind of lost and doesn't really know what to do with his life. And he also loves baking, which we love. He's the chef at the like inn place, and he does all the cooking, which is so hot. Like guys that can cook automatically 10 times hotter, like hello. But they meet, and Lucy doesn't like her. He's super attracted to her, which is one of the reasons why he doesn't want to get involved with her. He doesn't like her. He doesn't like her happiness and her outlook on life. It's definitely grumpy sunshine, but it's so good. They're spending time around each other all the time. The grandma is a little matchmaker, which we love. I love when there's like a mom or a grandma or a sister or whatever trying to push the characters together and like matchmake them, and it's just so cute. And so they're always spending time together. You know, eventually things happen. This book is a bit of a slow burn. I don't remember. I think it's slow burn, but it's so good. And the spice. There is a scene with some icing. So good. But yeah, I loved that he was a baker as well, like a baker slash chef. I just added like something in there that was just super fun, and Emma has no idea that he's the chef, and so it's really funny. So good and super underrated. I definitely recommend you guys read it, and I've never read anything from this author before, but it was so good. And the last book that I read this month is Beautiful Mistake by Vi Keeland. As you can see, I'm currently reading this book. I literally have 100 pages left, but it's so good, and I'm definitely gonna give it a 4-star. Beautiful Mistake by Vi Keeland. You guys know I love Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward's books. They're so good and so fast paced, easy to read and super fun and plot twisty and crazy and amazing, and I can sense a plot twist in this book. It hasn't been revealed yet, but I can feel it coming. So this book is about Kane and Rachel, and basically they're both at this club bar thing one night, and she goes up to him and thinks that he is this guy that screwed over her best friend. And she goes up to him, she goes off at him, she starts yelling at him, accusing him of all this stuff, and completely like blows up at him, and he's like, what? Like, I think you have the wrong person. And then she's like, oh shit. And then she walks away. It's super awkward, and it turns out it was the wrong guy and she made a mistake. And yeah, she doesn't apologize. She doesn't really go up to him again. She doesn't think she's ever gonna see him again, but in true Vacuolan fashion, she walks in to her job. She's a TA for, she's got assigned to a new professor, and who is it? Professor Kane West. She walks in, she sees him, she's like, oh shit, like that's the guy that I went off at. That wasn't the guy that I thought he was. This is awkward. And so they're working around each other all the time. The tension is there. He's got a bad like past, and she's got a bad past, and they don't really want to fall in love, and it's just like a whole thing. But eventually things do happen. He's a musician, or an ex-musician, but he's a professor in music composition, I believe. But yeah, he used to be in a band, so he can sing, play the drums, which is like super hot. So yeah, this book is just so good. I am loving every second of it. Super fast paced, easy to read, like most of Vacuolan's books are, and it's just a super fun one, and definitely looking like a 4-star read for me. And that is the last book that I read in the month of December. So that's all the books that I read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't believe that it's the last wrap up of the year. That's crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.